Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So on the Bitcoin chart here on the daily time frame, not really much change. We've seen some distortions on the smaller time frames, nothing major though. So if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame, nothing has changed at all. We could still be in the fifth wave to the upside. On the shorter time frame, and you will know that because we talk about it regularly, the 92,600 level is short-term support, main short-term support, and below that we've got the 69k level. Any break below 69k will change everything. I would have to assume the bull market top has already formed. We are already in a high risk area. For anybody who's wondering what that blue zone is for, it indicates that Bitcoin is in a larger target area. It's in a high risk area. Probably will move a bit higher to around about 130k, but we are in an area where risk just needs to be understood differently. We are in an area where people are just talking about when is the bull market starting. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. The bull market has started 2022. It's just that the altcoins haven't really behaved. Some have behaved really well, but many haven't. And that's what people think, or that's why people think another rally is coming. And I still think there will be another boom phase, but it might only take Bitcoin to round about 130k. Now, I'm not going to call it top in advance, but this is where, probabilities will shift because it will become more likely that at some point up here a top will form. We are in that area where Bitcoin continues to fight, right? It's not straightforward. Movements become messy on the smaller time frames. Overall, here on the larger time frame, it's pretty much perfect, right? The structure is pretty nice. It's a very well defined fifth wave, and it just needs a bit higher for even a completed structure on the micro. But we are in this larger turning point area. I can only encourage everybody to think about risk. I mean, Rune Thorchain has reminded everybody that risk management is important. It just is important, and things can change very quickly in this market. They just can, right? We've seen it on Friday in the stock market, how quickly things can turn around. We had a mini liquidity move there, small liquidity liquidation event, small, it was small though. Bitcoin reacted a little bit, really only on the micro level. And now we'll take a look at the smaller time frame here on the Bitcoin chart. So I've made a slight readjustment, but the support area is still holding here between 92,665 and 99,235. Now, the previous blue count, at least the detailed count, has been removed from the chart because this turned out to be a 3-wave move up. Bitcoin has not managed to form 5 waves up, which means that we're likely still in this wave 2 or wave B. It's pretty much the same in the short term. The idea is still that on the 17th of January, a wave 1 or a wave from the top, that's off the larger fifth wave, right? So it's the beginning of the next leg up that could take us to 130k. This is the correction of that move that happened between the 13th of January and the 17th of January. And it's a very wide A, B, C structure, okay? Bitcoin could not turn around here yet, okay? This was an attempt. It failed. It could still do it, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible that it will turn to the upside. I'm just saying, is it still the most probable pathway? Certainly not after breaking below the support on the micro level. Now, the break of support on the micro level that we had, I think it was around 101k or 101.5k or something. Because I've removed it from the chart now. So it's not necessarily a surprise given that diagonal patterns are inherently unreliable and we have to always treat them with caution. So I'm never surprised if a diagonal breaks, but obviously there was a signal, it's broken. So we have to assume that the market might go a little bit lower here. The ideal target for this move down, best I can tell, is between 96,219 and 98,533. At least this is another support area. I will remove the previous upside targets. Don't need them anymore. And I would tell you, I would assume that a first signal that a low of sorts is in place would be a break above initial resistance here at 103,189. That would be a first signal that a low of sorts is formed. then a break above this upper boundary line of the corrective price channel would be the next signal that we are moving up. And ultimately, we need that 5-wave move, right? We want to see that 5-wave pattern. Just be aware that we're entering 5th wave territory. Or actually, we are in the 5th wave. And movements here are choppy there. It's not going to be, it's not going to be easy because in 5th waves, we can get diagonal structures, all sorts of things which are difficult on the micro level. So don't necessarily try to trade every single wave. Be a bit patient. Let this correction play out. And once the first upside impulse reveals itself, the market will give us a signal that it is ready to move up in the next move towards 120 and then 130K. So at the moment, we might be starting a 4th wave, maybe, bounce, and then get one more low. We'll see. Whatever it's doing here, it's is likely still all corrective price action. So for example, we had this A wave down. The B wave was a WXY. Best I can tell now, a flat correction is a WXY, and we might now be moving down in the C wave, which should be a 5-wave move and possibly reach the 100% extension. No, not the 100%. The assumption is based on microstructure. It will move down possibly even to the 123.6 extension. That's based on the microstructure. But again, any break above resistance at 103,190 could indicate a lower zone. It would then be the signal that the market might make the next attempt higher. So I'm overall looking for higher, right? While we are in a major topping area, okay? So that is why we are tracking the microstructure so carefully, because it is all about understanding, okay, do the movements to the downside look like corrective pullbacks that would still allow for higher prices, right? If not, well, that might be an early signal that a more substantial top is in. And a break below 92,660 would be the first signal that a substantial top is formed, yeah? But it takes eventually a break below 69K on the daily time frame to confirm it further. So it tells you about the risk dynamics. So yeah, overall, I think at the moment parameters are very clearly defined. 92,665 is a very important support. 103,189 is first resistance. And yeah, that's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.